We're having a little technical difficulties, guys. We'll be right back.
Well, here we are at the Camp Coker race, and we're ready for round 4 here for Mr. Brandon, and we got his quad all ready to go here. Got him all filled up, air pressure's done, got the mud plugs on there. The Elite Graphics got Brandon a new pit board there, and we thank those guys for that. That'll really look nice. Obviously bright colors there so Brandon can be able to see us when we're out there, but the Renegade's ready to go. I do have the GoPro 10, going to be running just single on the front at this particular race. I'm going to try to do something a little different that I've not done in the past. I'm gonna try to do a little bit of sidetrack vlogging and try to keep you guys up to date of what's going on in the race and that kind of stuff. But we're ready to go. So it's about 9:30. So looks like probably about an hour and a half before our race. Look, looks to be a beautiful day here. So let's get this thing started. We got MJ Hidonis. He runs 4x4A. Got his bike all ready to go here, and this is his dad. His dad's going to try to run for the first time. Been some time, right, Mike?
Yeah, it's been about 2 years since the last time I was on a quad.
But the most important thing, you've never ran with your son.
Oh,
so
dream come true today.
That's right. And
I've never ridden a 4x4.
And he's never ridden a 4x4.
No, never.
No.
Never been
Have
on
you even
one.
squeezed the gas on one?
I've squeezed the gas, but that's about it.
Okay. So I'm excited for you just to be here to be able to experience it with your son, and it's going to be an experience for sure. That's what it's about, right?
Yep.
And then we got his wonderful sister over here. She's holding the fort down. And I actually rode up with MJ last night in the little trailer and got the Airbnb all set up. How was that? I haven't talked to you about it.
It wasn't as crazy as we were expecting. It was a little bit spooky, but not as bad as we thought it was going to be.
So we're in Society Hill, South Carolina, and it's not very townsy, right?
Yeah.
So they got an Airbnb literally a couple minutes from the track here, and I'm like, where in the heck did y'all get a Airbnb? And so they was hoping that it wasn't really sketchy and that kind of stuff, but it turned out good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was nice and clean.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Last time or now?
So Brandon, we're standing here at Gncc Racing, and looks like about 30 minutes before the race. How do you feel? What do you think about the track conditions and a little bit of rain yesterday? You think it'll help, hurt, what?
Track conditions, the rain yesterday is definitely going to help. It was going to be really dusty. It's going to be unfortunate for us, I guess, specifically in the 4x4s, because it's going to make the whoops and stuff like that. That's kind of similar to Florida. They're going to be really like sharp edged. So that means it's going to be kind of choppy. It's not going to be like whoops, you could really roll, that kind of thing. So, which is okay. Everybody's got to do it. I mean, there's nothing about it. But just that's one thing I know and I pick up on. Obviously, I'm a Florida rider. This place kind of gets rough like Florida. So it's very similar.
Watching the youth event this morning, they're still out there racing. The corners are already knee deep some places, so the ruts are going to be pretty horrendous.
It's going to get rough. The rain, I don't think we're going to get too muddy. There will be some areas where we get kind of nasty. I know the youth don't run that back section, and we do, so I know it gets a little nasty back in there. But besides that, I think everything's turning out pretty good. The day's not bad. I mean, it's not hot at all. Like perfect riding weather. I mean, there's no doubt it's perfect weather to be nutrition, that kind of thing. But yeah, I think we're ready.
All right, well, let's go right out. Good luck, bud.
10 seconds for row number 1, the 4x4 Pro.
Well, shoot, I'm going to try to jump in here and I'm going to try to explain to you guys what we think might have happened to the ATV here at Society Hill, round number 4 of GNCC. As you can see here, Brandon got second off the hole shot here behind Collier. And we're running along through here, and Brandon's keeping up with him here on the toes here, just trying to keep a distance here just in case there's any mistakes made. And Brandon starts noticing a little bit right in this area here where the bike starts missing and skipping a little bit. And then as you can see here, going down this straightaway here, this is the first problem here, and I'm going to try to get out of here, and I'm going to try to let you listen to this, what happens here. At the end of this little straightaway here, the quad beeps, and then it dies on him. So let's see right here. Hang on. Alrighty then, so this is where it all starts here. So let me try to jump back in here, and I'm going to try to explain to you what we think was going on or whatever. So as you can see here, he pulls up there and the quad dies. At this point, there's no power. The screen in the front of the dash is completely blank. It's almost like you pulled the battery cable loose from it. I'm going to try to post a short little video up here to the top here of us working on the quad here. So we did get this thing back up and running after we found a fuse. So we were unplugging things, plugging them back in, that kind of stuff, unplugging the ECM, plugging that back in. And Brandon decides to take off the dash here because obviously we had no power. So he decided to check a fuse here and found that we did have one blown, a 10 amp fuse. So fortunately for us, we did have another 10 amp spare inside the top there or whatever. Brandon puts that in and we get power. So at that point, once we get power, we try to assemble everything, put it all back together, that kind of stuff. I called James Reeves back in the pit area. He just told me to check a few things here, this, that, and the other. So it's kind of weird that I was actually riding the e-bike up to mile marker 3 to the designated area that Brandon wanted me to be at. And I look up to the right there and I see Brandon broke down. So that was very fortunate for us that I was actually headed out toward the area where I was wanting to stay, and I seen Brandon. So that allowed me to alert the guys in the pit area, that kind of stuff, to let them know that what's going on. So we try to keep them informed. Now once we put this fuse in here, Brandon takes back off and he's amidst of tons of traffic, and let's see, didn't know why the fuse blown, but I'm like, okay, maybe it's coincidence. We put the fuse in it, he took back off, thought our race would be okay. Well, obviously it wasn't. So I'm going to try to chop the video up here quite a bit here, and we were chasing Brandon about every mile and a half, 2 miles. It would continue to blow a fuse, and finally run out of fuses, that kind of stuff. So here I am here. You see we're constantly just trying to work on the four-wheeler here. So we do get him back up and going here. So let me let you guys watch a little bit of this, and then we'll get back after it here. Alright, so I'm starting a video here where Brandon just got back on the quad here. We got the fuse changed here, and you're going to see here that he gets in, obviously he's in heavy traffic. These guys just started the race here, and the camera does get whacked with mud, so you're not going to be able to see quite a bit here, but I'm going to take all that out there. But this particular fuse here was a 10 amp fuse that we placed in there, which is what is designed to be in there. It lasts about 3.5 to 4 minutes from what we can understand. Obviously you can see here in a tight area, and unfortunately for us, you know, most of the riders moved out of the way, and obviously you see the guy hand signal there that, you know, he hears Brandon, he'll move out of the way as quick as he can. But man, what a tight area, and it was a really bad spot to catch most of these guys in. But that's okay, that certainly, you see this rider moves out of the way as quick as he could in a location that was safe. So the camera does get blocked, as I told you, so I'm going to cut the camera off here and try to get some of the highlights of the video here. But as you can see, obviously there. So all right, I'll be right back. Hang on.
It's popped the fourth fuse. Just popped the fuse. What kind of fuse is it? It's an ignition and fuel pump, and it's done it ever since the start. So as soon as you put another one in, it pops it. It'll go 5 minutes and then pop it. Fuel pump ignition. I was just thinking of if we had something metal we could put in it to just run the damn thing. Yes, correct.
Try to jump it?
A fucking paper clip.
I got a staple.
You have a staple? Yeah, let's try that.
there pretty
coming
good?
out. Nope.
See if it starts.
It will start, I know that. It's like, what do you do?
Out of all the shit.
Like, I mean, it's nothing I can do. It's nothing. What is this? I mean, what are the odds of something like this happening?
No, tether.
Tell them to have fuse shit ready or something just in case.
Yeah. That may come up. I doubt it does. But I gotta at least get a lap.
Yes,
At least.
All right, I hope you guys can understand that, but just me listening back to it. So I hope you guys appreciate the commentary there of Brandon, what's going on. I think he said, what was a 4th fuse? He ran out of fuses, essentially, is what happened. And fortunately for him, he ran into Wayne Whitehead, and Wayne had a staple of all things. And so what they did is they put a staple in it, and which, you know, at the end of the day, what we're trying to finish, or try to at least get a lap. So you'll see here, Brandon takes off here, and the staple does work. We were out of fuses. At this point, Wayne radios into Terry Hancock over in the pit area, and Terry starts heading this direction. I'm out of fuses. I'm chasing Brandon on the e-bike. I'm out of fuses. Terry starts heading this direction with another stock of fuses, essentially. And as you can see here, Brandon takes off here, but this is short-lived also. He'll park it here in a minute. It'll do it again. Actually, it actually melted this staple, and which may have been better for us, because if it would have burned the harness down, it would have been even worse. But anyway, it stops again, as you just seen here. So it's just totally aggravating. And so the fuse, or the wire didn't, God darn it, the staple didn't last that long, just because they're made out of pop metal and all that stuff, I'm sure. But anyway, he was able to go and end up getting parked here. And at this point, we think that we're done. We think that it's all over. And I knew that Terry was heading this direction with the fuses, and so I actually waited on him. And then he and I just chased Brandon down, and we found him. Fortunately, we had some 30 amp fuses. We had been placing 10 amp fuses in there all this time, and it was just blowing those right off the bat. So Terry had some 30 amp fuses. We seemed to put those in there, and it would go a little bit further. Now, this is probably 6.5, 7 mile marker, maybe. I'm not positive exactly where it was at. I was just so disoriented. But so essentially, we're just trying to get to the end, right? So this is probably the leaders are probably on their 2nd or 3rd lap at this point. So we're starting to run out of time, because there again, we were just trying to get to the finish of the race and just complete the 1 lap here. So anyway, so I'm gonna cut this off right quick. You'll see as you see a course marshal roll up there. They were constantly checking on Brandon, trying to keep up with him just in case he needed towed. And obviously Brandon was like, no, I don't want to get towed back yet. I don't need to get towed back. If I ever get towed back, then basically it would be over. So we were doing everything we could possibly do not to get towed back. So they were constantly checking on us. They were aware of what was going on, and all the course marshals were basically following Brandon just to make sure that if he needed to tow back, he could get it towed back. So we appreciate that. So I'm gonna cut off here and just try to chop it up here so it doesn't take forever, because this stop right here was probably about a 12-minute stop, something like that.
Yeah. And get out to some open so I don't block nobody.
Yeah.
But just follow me. Yeah, 10-4. I'll be close. Start. You may be done. Man, dude, I gotta do a lap. Right? Come on, baby. I don't care if you're half speed. I gotta do a lap. I don't know what it's done. It's already popped that one. No need for that. What do we do, guys? What do we do? I'm out of fuses. I'm done. It's popped every single one I put in there. The only thing I could do... What did break? Something with the ignition.
All right, so here we go. So here's Terry and I finally get here. You see the bikes laying right there. So we're trying to discuss here what the heck we're going to do. We put a fuse in there, immediately blew it, pulled it back out, started doing a little bit of more searching around, put another fuse in there, and it seemed to hold in there. So we decided I ended up calling James again in the pit area just to try to pick his brain again after some thinking. And he seems to think it was a fuel pump related issue. He seems to think that basically the fuel pump was building up pressure. Once it builds up pressure, it would basically draw too many amps and then basically, you know, blow the fuse or break the fuse. So there again, we're just trying to limp it to the end. We just want to complete one lap. So you'll see here where we put the fuse in there and then we decided to tell Brandon, look, just we'll continue chasing. We did have a box full of fuses at this point, and actually we put more fuses in the box for Brandon's for spares in case it does this again, which obviously it did. And so at this point, Terry and I are putting the quad back together here for Brandon. Brandon's getting ready to go. He's getting ready to get back on it. So fortunately for us, we're not done yet, and you know, can't stick a fork in us yet. We're still moving. So this is what happened. So Brandon's going to continue here, and you'll see here that it breaks again. Well, there you go. So didn't last that long. So now look at this. So there is a course worker that was sitting out in the field there, saw Brandon break down, and he pulls up there like he's getting ready to hook him up. So Brandon's like, no, you're not going to hook me up. I'm going to try to do this. Now at this point, we've got spare fuses to Brandon. So Brandon is taking it all apart. He obviously knows what the issue is. He's pulling the spare fuses out, and he's going to put a fuse in there. But this guy actually backed up there and looked like he was getting ready to hook up. And we're like, no. So Terry and I, in the meantime, are bicycling literally our guts out. And so we roll up, and chasing Brandon, obviously, we roll up, and we're at the bottom of the hill. We look up the hill there, and we see Brandon broke down, and we see this guy in front of him with this ATV. And he and I both just simultaneously started yelling. And you know, they could not hear us, but we were yelling our brains out to not hook up, you know. So anyway, this was actually pretty funny, and we laugh about it afterwards. But so obviously what happens is you see Brandon there pulling a fuse out, putting another 30 amp fuse in there, and he gets back up and going here. So just another fuse. He's putting his gloves back on here, so obviously he's got the fuse changed, and he knows that it's going to be able to go maybe another 1.5 miles. So here we go.
Yeah, I've had people follow me around the whole day. They're on bikes running around somewhere right now.
Technical difficulties, guys. We'll be right back.
So you had it off enough to know. Yeah, that 30. It's supposed to be a 10, but a 30's been lasting longer.
I got 130 fuel pump.
Yeah. The 30, it's still running.
Dude, I just stopped.
Here, tuck that in your boot.
Is there another 30 though in there?
Yes, he's got 30 in it right now.
You don't leave us off.
Alright, go ahead.
Yeah, they got another half hour. Listen, when you go to the finish, you just go to the trailer.
Trailer?
Yeah, there's nothing we can do. Ah, dog it. So here we go. So you guys just saw that he did make it to the pit area, and so we decided, you know, obviously just restocking fuses again, and we just need to get to the finish area here, which is only about another half mile, and it pops another darn fuse. So fortunately for us here, we have tons of people here, so here we go. So put another fuse in it so we can get to the end here, and that's what we did. So listen, I want to thank everybody for jumping in and helping us and chasing Brandon and that kind of stuff. It was certainly a team effort, and we certainly appreciate all that. Don't know all of you guys' names, and don't know who all that helped us and called and that kind of stuff, and tried to figure out what we could do to get Brandon one lap. And listen, it was successful. We did, and I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart, and I know that Brandon does too. So all right, so I'm pretty much gonna wrap up the video here. Got a few things to talk with Brandon about here, and then pretty much it, but the voiceover stuff is pretty much done. So I appreciate you guys listening in.
Yeah, watch out. Get closer. Just gotta get it right there, okay, bud? Love you.
got Brandon to do one lap, okay? It doesn't look the best, but we got him. And man, what a team effort. I think we've been chasing him since mile 1. And Terry and I have been out in the woods and we've been following Brandon. He's been busting fuses about every mile. And it's taken us damn near the whole race to get him to the finish line to complete one lap. So I don't know what's wrong with it yet. I'm gonna get up here and get a word with Brandon. So we got James here. This is the mechanic for Gncc Racing here. We put on the bud system here. We're gonna try to figure out what's going on with it before we go home, just because it's aggravating the daylights out of us. So he's pulling up on the bud system now, and basically the ECU or ECM, whatever the hell they call it, and then basically it'll tell the computer what codes and that kind of stuff that it put up. So hopefully we can figure it out, but it's wearing us out.
How many fuses y'all get? 8.
And a staple. He was and it melted a staple.
Probably. Oh, did you put a staple in it to make it?
And that lasted about 2 minutes.
It melted that, and then we was gonna stick a wire in there. We had some wire. We had some wire wrapped up there for him to stick in there. So we're back here with Brandon. So Brandon, you did eventually get to a lap, but it was I don't know how many fuses it was. I think we counted 9 fuses and some wiring. We was sticking wire in it, but Terry Hancock and I was following you pretty much on the course here, and we would catch you about every mile or so. You was stopping, and you tried to ride it harder or softer. It didn't matter.
It didn't make a difference.
It didn't make a difference. So I think Terry and I got more of a workout and felt like we've raced.
Yeah, y'all probably got more workout than I did, honestly.
Yeah. So people are asking, what do we think's wrong? Do you have any idea?
No idea.
We checked a bunch of stuff.
It's something fuel related or ignition related. One of those two. The odds of it happening are probably slimmer than none. And it really honestly could happen at a worse time. I mean, it sucks.
It really does suck.
It really sucks.
Track conditions look like your cup of tea.
So awesome.
Yeah.
I actually was feeling really, really good. I mean, I only went every 3 minutes, but
yeah. It's just part of it, you know what I mean? But listen, we live and die as a team, and we did the best we could. So we'll go catch them at the next round, and we'll go back and get this Renegade running. We'll figure it out, the problem, and we'll report what happened and go from there. So hey, listen, at least you're healthy. We're going around, we got a couple week break off, so we'll be able to go through the ATV and get it repaired. All right, so all right, so that's a word from Brandon there, and our race is pretty much over. You can see Brandon did make it back here, and we're all pretty much exhausted. We just wanted to try to at least make a lap, basically that we was here, and but it was tough, and but we did it. I'm happy for Brandon. We all stayed calm as a team, and we did the best we could, and we got him here. So we live and die as a team, and we still had fun. You still see me smiling. It's aggravating because a track like today was like Brandon's cup of tea. But hey, listen, we'll move on to round 5, and that's the reason why there's 13 races, and we'll take it and go with that. It wasn't a mistake by nobody. It's just something happened. We don't know. We seem to might think maybe it's a fuel pump grounding out, or potentially a wiring harness rubbing somewhere and blowing fuses. We don't know just yet. And he was running along there, and you guys saw, I think I got some video of it, maybe I don't. He was running there second there within a mile probably, and it died. So I found him there, and then you know, sequentially after that, it just got to where we was steadily chasing Brandon on the e-bike. So listen, as always guys, I appreciate you guys watching everything, and we'll catch up with you next time. Thank you for watching.